What is going on, guys? SKITZ here, back with my third coffee talk. Very excited to get into this. First and foremost, you guys are awesome. You guys already knew that, but seriously, all the feedback on my first two have just been a kick in the butt for me to put this one out. I'm going to do them weekly, and to me, I was actually thinking about this. What is cooler than having something on your commute to work or in the gym or just in your free time, an hour to kill? What is cooler than putting on some beneficial material in the current game you're playing, to just listen and absorb and just take in a lot of stuff that could potentially benefit you when you sit down and play when you get back to the computer. And that's the goal. That's what I want to bring you guys. So in the first two, we talked about just jewel crafting as a whole. And then in the second one, I came out with a Saber's Eye follow-up with jewel crafting. And I think it's only appropriate in this third and final jewel crafting to go over, in this coffee talk, all of the questions. I took all of the Reddit posts, all of the videos in jewel crafting currently in Legion I put up, everything I wrote down and I dissected. Every single one of your questions, I wrote them down and I'm going to answer them full Q&A style. So if you guys are in the car, in the gym, wherever you're at work, sit back, relax. I'm going to cut my webcam off as usual because these are very opposite of my short and sweet to the point guides. These are more just sit back, relax, enjoy the material. I hope you can benefit from this. And like I said, guys, all of the questions you guys had are all here, pages and pages and pages of material that I'm going to read to you, and then I'm going to answer in the most efficient way possible so you guys can actually get a feel for where I'm coming from. So if you guys have not checked out the first two coffee talks, make sure you do that. Let's jump into this one. And like I said, this is a wrap up of jewel crafting, all of these surrounding questions with jewel crafting in Legion. I hope you guys can take something from this. So let's jump into it. Let me cut my webcam off. And a quick update on the gold, guys. I had a lazy week. We had a lot of stuff going on. I think we have 550,000 gold week we made from last week. So we were at 1.9 in my last coffee talk, I believe. And now we are at 2.4 million plus. So with that being said, we have over 1 million gold in gems currently in my bag, and I bought up a lot of markets during the bot ban wave, so prices are going back up, everything is looking great. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the gold count. So 2.4 million gold, Bloodfang Widows already purchased, and we have 1 million plus gold worth of gems in our bag. So let's cut the webcam off and let's get into the Q&As from Jewelcrafting and Legion. So first question we have is, how do you make sure the jewel crafters are trading back your mats? So for each of these questions, guys, I'm going to read this is word for word from the comments from YouTube and Reddit. I'm going to read it, and then if you guys don't understand it, I'm going to make sure that I'm gonna fully, go into the question and dissect it so you guys can understand what they are asking in the first place. So how do you make sure the jewel crafters are trading back your mats? Basically, so in the other previous talks with jewel crafting, this is like if I had, let's say for an example, 50 shadow rubies that are uncut. I bought them off the auction house for cheap, or I prospected fell slate or laystone ore and got 20 shadow rubies uncut. So I met up with the jewel crafter in trade chat, and I'm trading the gems. And this question is around, how do you make sure that jewel crafters are trading back your mats? So the jewel crafter have the bloods of Sargeras. You are supplying the gems, and they're basically wondering if the big risk with this. This is actually a pretty common question. 7 or 8 times I had to condense this into one. But guys, it's 2016. WoW's been out. The anniversary's coming up, 12 years. With screenshots and Blizzard being on top of things with the recent ban wave and their support and everything else, if you do get scammed, you can put a ticket in. But every time I have done business with a jewel crafter and you're polite and respectful and go about your business, they're going to trade back your gems. There's no reason that they, they should hold on to them. And unless you're being a complete idiot and, you know, freaking out. They're not going to do that. And if they do that, just, you know, politely whisper them and be like, you know, bad move, whatever, keep it moving. Don't do anything crazy. Put a ticket in and you'll get your gems back 100%. But like I said, guys, probably over 200 times I've traded thousands of gold worth of gems, and that's never happened to me once. So I think I had one guy dispute the prices of blood one time, and we worked it out and we traded it back. So like I said, guys, people don't want to lose their account. People don't want to lose everything they've worked for and gold and that they're selling stuff. So they're not gonna screw you over. So next question, how did you get those designs to level up to 800 Jewelcrafting? So basically this question is surrounding right at about 780, 785 when all of your Jewelcrafting neck recipes that you get from spamming Legion Heroics. So you're going to get a group together. I recommend 5 people, including yourself, and just spam Legion Heroics over and over again until you get rank 3 neck recipes to drop. So at that point, from 780 to 800, the leveling is going to go green, so you're going to have to just craft a bunch of those to get up to 800. It's a grind, but like I said, at the end of it, the Saber's Eyes are worth it. They're selling like hotcakes still because, like I said, Jewelcrafting is very beneficial. Because the best example I can use is if you go into Emerald Nightmare this week, get a piece of gear, and you socket it with a gem. Next week, you're going to get something better. You can't take the gem out of that old piece of gear. You have to trash the gear with the gem, rinse and repeat. You put a new gem in your new gear, and it's just a constant circle of life with gold and Jewelcrafting. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So how did you get those designs to level up to 800 Jewelcrafting? Spam Legion Heroics, put a group together. It'll work very, you know, just boom, boom, boom. You'll be in and out. With a healer and tank, it's instant queue. So next question, am I correct in assuming that prospecting rates for rares / epic gems is unaffected by level and your Jewelcraft level? That is correct. So if you're able to obtain Jewelcrafting in Legion and you're allowed to prospect Fell Slate and Laystone ore, if you have that option, that doesn't scale with, you know, if you're item level or if you're max level. If you have Jewelcrafting, if you have the ability to prospect Fell Slate and Laystone ore, it does not scale with that. So next question, should we be single prospecting or mass prospecting for better gold? Excuse me guys, 1 second, let me grab a sip of coffee. Hope you guys are having a great day, morning if you're waking up to me, or at night. Should we be single prospecting or mass prospecting for better gold? So previously I put a guide out that was how to properly prospect your Laystone and your Fell Slate ore with your gem chips and how to read them. And I quickly got away from that because as there was an abundance of Fell Slate and Laystone ore before the bot wave, I was scooping up so much cheap ore and so much cheap Fell Slate that I was just constantly scooping it up, and I had so much of it that I was mass prospecting it and just cranking out the gems. I almost didn't have time to single prospect. But fast forward now to the 16th of November, a couple days after the ban wave, Fell Slate and Laystone have gone through the roof. The Blood of Sar Jairus Trader came out, so everybody's, you know, using the materials on that as well. So it's like, now I'm going back to single prospecting, if I'm even prospecting at all. To be honest, guys, I'm not even touching it. I'm not even touching ore and Fell Slate because the prices are so out of whack right now. I'm just capitalizing on the people that are snatching up all of the bloods. They're buying bloods in trade chat. I'm sure you guys have seen that. And what they do is they take the bloods, they go recklessly over to the trader, buy up Fell Slate, Laystone ore, they prospect it, and then they just chuck up all of those uncut gems for cheap just to get that quick flip buck. You know what I mean? So that's when you come in, buy up all the uncut gems, and then you go about your business and you craft that way. So I honestly have not been single prospecting or mass prospecting at the moment. Next question, currently I'm at 780 800 Jewelcrafting, should I buy rank 3 neck recipe since I'm exalted? Oh, excuse me. Currently I'm at 780 Jewelcrafting. Should I buy any rank 3 neck recipe since I'm exalted with everything? Absolutely. So with this, you kind of take out the RNG of the random Legion heroics. With this, if you have, I'm pretty sure the Wardens, yes, the Wardens exalted, I think, gives you the Warlock neck. And you can craft that the whole way up to 800. So if you have exalted reputation, you can go to the vendor to get the rank 3 neck recipe for, I think, a couple of the neck recipes. Everything else is from spamming Legion heroics. So good question, very good question. Do you have a rough estimate on how much gold it costs to level 1 to 800? Huge question. Everybody always asks me this. I don't, and I don't want to give an answer to this because this is going to fluctuate whether you're on NA, EU, your realm, you know, how much mats, Draenor mats are, leveling up the early parts. So like I said, guys, it costs, I would invest, you know, I would set aside a good 500,000 gold to this minimum. But once you get up to 800, guys, you're going to make your gold back. It's very, very easy, and like I said, there's guides out to do that. But that was a common question. I didn't really want to answer that or give an answer to that, but everybody kept asking that on how much gold it really costs to level 1 to 800. Just grind it out. Like I said, if you have 20,000 gold and you're trying to make a killing with Jewelcrafting, I wouldn't recommend, you know, picking it up. But if you want to pick up a profession right now that I think is awesome, because alchemy kind of has been dipping down, I think Jewelcrafting is a pretty safe bet. So just bang it out. 1 to 800 is going to cost a lot of gold, but like I said before, the earlier you guys get to 800, still the better, because day in and day out, and the Dark Moon Fair just passed again, a lot of people are leveling up to 800. There's going to be more Saber's Eye on the market, so the quicker you get there, the better. Next question, what add-ons am I using? I'm not going to go over fully like all of my in-game add-ons, but gold-wise, guys, Postal is huge. That's my mailbox add-on, so it's not, you can click and open everything up at one time, almost like an open all, instead of one by one clicking through. Again, it's called Postal. Auctionator is what I use. This is going to be a big debate. Hope I don't get crushed for this, but I honestly, TSM is money. Auctionator is money. TSM is used more by the gold goblins. I'm kind of stuck in my old ways, you know, 12 years playing WoW, that it's worked for me. It's simple, it's lightweight, so I'm probably going to make the switch, or I'm going to attempt in my free time to hop over to TSM and play around with it, but I'll have to have, maybe one of you guys can walk me through some of the basics and give me kind of a rundown or a coffee talk on TSM. So again, Postal for my mailbox, Auctionator for my add-on. I have an add-on called Crap Away, excuse my language, but that's what it's called. It's for all of your grays, all of your vendor trash. So if you're farming or whatever else, if you open up a vendor tab to sell anything, it'll automatically take all of the grays and vendor it for you. So that's called Crap Away. And then my gathering profession, or my gathering add-on is called Gathermate 2. That just records the nodes after you pick Fell Slate or Laystone or herbs or anything like that. It will record it on the map, so you can kind of get an outline going back and forth through different zones where the hot spots are. So all right, guys, first page done. Moving along, let's hop over. Next question, is there any easy way to get blood? So previously I thought, and I'm going to go back on my word here, blood of Sargeras was easily obtained through random Legion heroics, which it still is, and I think it's the most consistent way to do it. But from a gathering perspective, skinning is probably your best bet with farming bloods, because think of it like this: the more times you pick an herb, for an example, or you mine a node of Fell Slate, or you skin an animal, that has a chance to proc your bloods, to get to obtain blood, if that makes sense. So the more nodes, the more mobs you're skinning, the more herbs you're picking per hour, has the better chance of giving you more bloods per hour. So I hope that makes sense. That's a debatable topic, but if you have a great group, a powerhouse group to run Legion Heroics, you can be in and out of there, and they have a pretty decent chance to drop, and you can farm. There's so many different benefits to Legion Heroics. I might do a guide on that, but skinning right now, right now with me, profession-wise, profession-wise, skinning is definitely your best bet to farm blood. So the more you can just sit around in an area and just spam skin, and as you're spam skinning, that's going to give you the chance to proc bloods while you're doing that. So next question, on my server, Saber's Eyes are selling for 23 to 25k uncut and for 13 to 15k cut. Why would anyone buy them uncut and not cut? So auction houses are weird sometimes. For instance, say people use the mats for Saber's Eye. Let's say 3 Saber's Eye of Agility were left during a server reset. Nobody checked the market, and all of those sold out. Then people would buy the uncut gem for that outrageous price to list it at a higher price because there was no more of that previous gem on the auction house, if that makes sense. So they're almost just banking on the fact that something runs out of stock, and then you have to pull the trigger on an uncut gem to cut it. So next question, on my server, I think quite a few people hit 800 Jewelcrafting, and now the green and red gems are selling for about 4k each. Currently, there are 0 green gems on the auction house. Would it be smart to buy stacks of Fell Slate to prospect? So what he means by green and red gems is the Pandemonite. The green and the red is going to be your Fury Stone, and they're selling for about 4k each. Currently, there are 0 Pandemonite on the auction house. Would it be smart to buy stacks of Fell Slate to prospect? I wouldn't buy Fell Slate now because of the price, but I would definitely go out and farm and prospect. I always feel okay with myself when I farm and prospect and don't get any gems RNG than when I spend and invest money and then prospect and don't get anything. I feel like I went out and spent my time on it, so it's not a big deal. So I would definitely, if you could go out and farm and then prospect for some Pandemonite, I always hold gems in my bag no matter what, because gems that are selling for dirt right now, guys, I've seen sapphires go for 200 and 300 gold, the dirt, and they got cleaned out by people's auctions expiring, or people buying up, or guilds scooping up, raid or reset or whatever. And then tomorrow they're back up to 1400 gold. So it's like you always should have gems in your bag at all times, because you never know what markets are going to freak out at any time. So I would definitely, if you could go out and mine to prospect to see if you can grab some Pandemonite, I would do that. But unless the Fell Slate and Laystone are cheap, I wouldn't buy it up right now. So how do we go about getting someone to cut your gems? Very, very, very hot topic. I love talking about this. The relationships you build with your jewel crafters on your realm is everything. So what I do, I guess we could go word for word. It's kind of word for word now. I panned it out that I do the same thing every time, but I go into trade chat /2 looking for jewel crafter, please send tell, and I'll hit it once, and then I will hit that every 2 or 3 minutes in trade chat until I find somebody. They'll hit me up. I will ask them to link their jewel crafting. I will click on it. It doesn't really matter because I'm crafting my Saber's Eyes myself. I'm using my bloods for that because those are rare. And I know when they link jewel crafting, they're going to have the 150 cut gems. The Masterful Shadow Ruby, your Quick Dawn Light, your Sapphires, your Deadly Eye of Prophecy. They're going to have it because you get that early. So I check it out. I always look if I can level them up, because that's going to discount the price of bloods. Not that it really matters in the first place, because like I said, your relationship you build with your jewel crafters that are crafting these gems for you is huge. So what you do after that is basically ask how many bloods they have. They'll reply with 20 or 200. If it's 10 to 20, I honestly, since I'm prospecting and I'm getting gems cut, or excuse me, I'm not prospecting, that I'm getting my gems cut in bulk now, I kind of strayed away from people that have less than 20 or 10, 15 bloods, because I don't want to burn them up. I don't want to burn them up, and I don't want to make, them think that those last 10 are worth, 1,000 gold a piece. So I look for people with, upwards of 50 to 100, and when they reply with how many they have, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, you're killing it, and send them out an invite. I don't say a word. I go over there, I trade my gems. They obviously, from the gems that they get, know what I want. They'll sometimes ask, what do you need, blah, 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 and they'll cut them on the spot. I've had only a handful of people, over 100 or 200 people, actually say, oh, whoa, what's going on with the bloods? How much of the bloods? Everybody, a lot of people, guys, have bloods in jewel crafting and professions and play the game and aren't gold goblins. They just have a lot of bloods. They do heroics and mythics and just farm, and they just have fun. So you don't have to expect and think that everybody is just like out to get you and is like holding a microscope over how much gold you're going to give them per blood, because that's not the case. So honestly, guys, I've traded thousands and thousands of gems to people. They've cut them and given me, sometimes they've traded me back without even me tipping them, or they try to. I always tip them, of course, but like I said, the relationships you build with them, being polite, compliment them on your transmog. Don't be weird about it. Don't go out of your way to be a sketchball. But like I said, guys, now when I get on, people whisper me to say they have bloods and they want to craft them and, all that kind of stuff. So the relationships you build with your jewel crafters is huge. Next question, do you think it would be better for me to mine laystone and fell slate and sell them raw, or mass prospect them to sell the gems? Right now, I love the price of fell slate and laystone ore. I honestly sometimes like to get off the auction house and just go out and farm for a couple hours. I enjoy it. I enjoy having a cup of coffee or 6 and going out there and just picking mines all morning, and then you come back and the stack size that you list them in is very important. I put my fell slate laystone in stacks of 10 and in stacks of 5, and it sells like hotcakes because it shows up on the auction house with people that don't have add-ons. Very different than with people when they have add-ons. Excuse me here, my WoW's logging me out here. 1 second. All right, we're good. So right now, since the Bandwave and the Blood Trader came out, I would say sell your ore, your fell slate and laystone raw. And if you can pick up anything cheaper than what you're getting it at, you can prospect it if the gem prices are outrageous. If your gems are crazy, obviously prospect for the gems, craft, so on and so forth. So next question, when you say find someone with bloods to cut gems, how much are you paying? Again, huge question surrounding jewel crafters crafting for you, but I never mention anything. I never go into it saying after the invites go out, I'll give you 250 per blood or 500 per blood, because then it raises the question to them like, oh, are these valuable, or I'm gonna go ask somebody now, or this and that. But like I said, when you trade back 20, 30, 40, 50 gems and I put in as a tip 4,000 or 5,000 gold, it seems like a lot to the jewel crafter at the moment, but when you're getting rid of 2 or 3 of those gems to make your money back, you guys kind of get the picture. It's ridiculous. So don't be super stingy, but don't go out of your way to negotiate bloods when you don't have to. Just let the trading do the talking and just keep it moving. All right, guys. Next question, do you actually buy uncut gems from the auction house and cut them into plus 150 stat gems, or do you get the gems only from mass prospecting? No more mass prospecting. I am just clobbering all of the cheap gems on the auction house uncut. I'm snatching them all up because, like I said, the new Blood Trader is out, and all of these other kids that are potentially think they're farming gold the right way are getting bloods, going over to the trader, getting fell slate, laystone ore, mass prospecting it, and just quick flipping all the uncut gems on the auction house for no reason. And that's when you come in, snatch them all up, find yourself a couple jewel crafters, cheap bloods, boom, 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 so on and so forth. You guys get the picture. So next question. Has the affected Saber's Eyes dupes affected your buying and selling? The only effect the dupes, or whatever you guys want to call them, I think to me, dupes was something that you bought that wasn't real. So if you bought a duped mount, it wasn't really the mount. It just said that. You know what I mean? It just like had the image and the picture of it. But the Saber's eyes are real. However they got on the market for 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 gold, less than the actual mats, it takes to craft the gem. I'm buying it. I'm buying every single one of those up because they're going to sell. Like I said, guys, when you get a new piece of gear, you can't unsock it and resocket a new gem. You got to trash your old gear, get a new piece of gear, get a new gem, keep it moving. So there's always going to be people buying gems. So I don't think it's going to happen again. If you come across gems that are going for Saber's Eye, uncut or cut, for 3, 4, 5,000, just hungry hippo, all of those up, just eat them up. Next question. What do you do with all of your green gems after you prospect? So, awesome question. I usually craft, these are the uncommon gems, like your Azunite and your Queen's, Opal, all those kind of things. I craft them one by one. I used to obliterate them for ash one by one and then combine 100 ash to make obliterum and sell that off. But now that the market's kind of shaky, I either vendor it or I craft it, and people are actually still buying the lower uncommon gems, the green gems, the crafted gems, so I really don't even use those much anymore. I'll craft them into rings or neck pieces and then obliterate them just to get rid of them. So you're after the big boys. You're after are your Fury Stones, your Sapphires, Pendemonite, Azunite, Eye of Prophecy, all those, and frankly all the green gems. Once you get up past a couple 100,000 gold or 1,000,000 gold, you don't even, look at anymore. So next question, actually, final question we have here. When is the best time to sell your gems? Awesome question. I live for Tuesday Reset. I honestly live for Tuesday Reset because think about when you log in. Well, for me, the first thing I do is I go into my class hall. I go see what key that I had or what key I am getting for the week, Mythic Plus key, and I'm getting my new 880 plus piece of gear or whatever your gear may be. Excuse me, guys. And what is that? You literally do nothing but put in the time and effort through Mythic Plus throughout the week to get that piece of gear. You open it. If it has a slot, you just got a piece of free gear with potentially a slot for a gem for nothing. That's the first reason. The second reason is everybody heads over to the world boss of the week during Tuesday Reset. You kill him, drops loot with a socket, awesome. Kill him, he doesn't drop loot, you have a bonus roll, he might drop something with a socket, even better. Guys, it's like that is the best time when people grab the most amount of gear during Tuesday Reset. And then if you'll notice, people will come back right after servers reset with 2 or 3 new pieces of gear in about 15 minutes, and gems are just flying off the shelf. So guys, this was a full Q&A wrap up of Jewelcrafting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out my other coffee talks. If you have not subscribed already, it would mean the world to me if you guys did that. Share, like. I will see you guys in the next coffee talk. I go live every single day on Twitch, twitch.tv/SKITZ. All my social media, Snapchat, Instagram, you name it, is all at SKITZ to make it easy for you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you in the next coffee talk. I am out of here. Peace.